Hello, YouTube. This is Said Mirza, and today I wanted to give you a sort of personal experience in regards to the eating of halal meat. And I know this is a very hot topic. This is a point of contention with many people, and I'm just going to recite to you what the Quran says about eating meat and what the Quran sanctions as being allowed. And then I'm going to talk to you about my experience in regards to this issue. And I think it will be of benefit to many believers who are scratching their heads on this issue and not sure exactly what the path to take is. So this is chapter 5, verse 3, and this is from the Quran, a complete revelation by Sam Garens, which can be downloaded for free from Quranic.com. So to begin, forbidden to you is carrion and blood and the flesh of swine, and that dedicated to other than God, and the strangled, and the beaten, and the fallen, and the gored, and that eaten by the beast of prey, save what you slaughter, and that sacrifice upon the altar, and that you seek apportionment by divining arrows. That is perfidy. This day have those who ignore warning despaired of your doctrine. So fear them not, but fear me. This day have I perfected for you your doctrine, and completed my favor upon you, and approved for you submission as doctrine. But whoso is compelled by hunger, without inclination to sin, God is forgiving and merciful. So, this is the backdrop for the issue of halal meat, allowed meat. Now I know there's many different interpretations of this, and the Muslims have a whole theology behind what constitutes haram and what the procedure is. But it's pretty straightforward from the verse that there's certain things that are forbidden, and that is carrion, which is rotten meat, and blood, flesh of swine, pig, and that dedicated to other than God, and the strangled, and the beaten, and the fallen, and the gored. Okay, so the gored means that it's been punctured by an animal's horns. So obviously we don't live in a society like this anymore. But let's look at this one, and the beaten. Okay, because this is the crux of the issue. Because the way meat slaughter works in the U.S., and you can verify this for yourself, the procedure for the slaughter of animals in the U.S. for cows and bovine, goats, and sheep is that they use the stunning method. And what that is that they use a captive bolt. It's a bolt or a gunshot, and it's usually they strike the animal on the forehead with this gun, which basically penetrates into the skull. And the reason they do this is because they say it's animal cruelty, blah blah blah. But because this is a mechanized process, they have to kind of minimize the variables, and so this is done to basically kill the animal before it goes through the whole machinery. And there's different interpretations about what this means. Does this mean that the animal is unconscious, or is it permanently dead, or what? Now, the stance of the Muslims, and not all of them agree on this aspect of this. Some say it's forbidden. Some do allow this procedure because they say it's stunning, so the animal is unconscious. But if you're being realistic here, once a fatal blow to the head, a very forceful blow to the head of an animal is performed, or even a human being, chances are that this creature is not going to survive the process. He's dead. So, I'm not going to argue about that. You do what you do. But here's my problem with this procedure is that no one can verify whether this animal is going to, live a longer life after he's been stunned. Okay, and this is the same with the chicken as well. With the chicken, they run him through an electric bath, and they say it stuns the chicken. But if they're being efficient, they would want to kill the chicken because the current is a high voltage current. But here's the problem. They use the word stunning because they want to obviously deceive people into thinking, okay, the animal is stunned, it's not dead. But it is dead. And that's my belief. Now, I'm not telling you what you should do, but I'm just giving you my personal experience in regards to this halal meat issue, because for the longest time I stopped eating from outside any meat, going to McDonald's, Chick-fil-A, or buying from Walmart. I stopped that a couple of years ago, but I had been getting meat from this gentleman here who runs a well-established Muslim halal business. He sells meat, and most of his clientele is Muslims or Arabs or Pakistanis or whatever. And just recently I went to his place to get meat, and I noticed that the cow skull was laying there, and I saw on the cow skull a wound right in the middle, in the forehead. And that can only come if that animal has been killed. They will use the word stunning, but I'm saying killing, by a captive bolt or a gunshot. And so I was very perplexed by that. Obviously, now my trust on this guy was over, so I didn't really approach him. I decided to call around, and I called a couple of Jewish butchers here who serve, obviously, kosher meat. And if the Jews, the way they slaughter the animal is similar to how the Qur'an stipulates that it be done. So I called this Jewish guy, and I asked him, I said, do you know what's going on here? Because, I mean, they all work in the same industry, so chances are he probably knew what was going on. He said, yeah, these guys are all selling you forbidden meat. The animal is dead. It's been slaughtered by a captive bolt or through the process. And then I was like, okay, maybe this guy is just trying to draw a business, so he's lying. So what I did was I called the supplier who this gentleman was getting the meat from. It's a farm 3 hours south of here. I'm in Phoenix, by the way. And I called the supplier up, and I asked him, point blank, I said, what exactly are you doing with the animals? Are you slaughtering them with the knife and, a hand slaughter? Or is this through a mechanized process where you're, stunning the animal with captive bolt? And he told me that they're doing a captive bolt stunning, and that's the way it's done, because otherwise the USDA, United States Department of Agriculture, would crack down on them, because this is the requirement for them to be able to sell the meat. So I guess long story short is I stopped getting the meat from that gentleman, and I threw everything out. And for the last 2 weeks, I've been looking around here, trying different options, seeing where I can get the meat from. Because if the halal stamp is useless, is worthless, then the kosher stamp to me is useless too. I'm not gonna trust some third party who are probably sold out for this thing. Because again, in the Quran, this is forbidden, so this is a big deal. For me, if I'm following the Quran. So I'm not gonna just leave this up to, maybe, inshallah, whatever. I want to make sure. So the only way I saw out of this was to actually go and slaughter the animal myself. And so yesterday I went to a farm. I looked up a place here, a farm that the person is selling, live animals. And I went to the farm, and I watched a couple of YouTube videos on how to slaughter animals. I went there and I said, I want to do the hand slaughtering myself. And he was okay with it. And he was a Muslim, and he said, yeah, that's fine with me. So he guided me a little bit, but I slaughtered the chickens and I slaughtered the goat. And I saw I was standing there while he processed the meat. He, skinned the animal and butchered it and all that. And we got the meat. So it took a couple of hours, but I know that this meat that I got, it's completely done according to the Quran, and it's allowed. So this video is just to I guess share with you that in this day and age you cannot trust anyone. And if the meat you're getting, if you're eating meat from outside and you think it's okay, that's fine, whatever. This is not the point of the video. But if you are actively looking for the option for the meat to be consumed, which is allowed in the Quran, then there is no way around it. You have to personally go and either hand slaughter or witness the slaughtering being done. And the animal should be in front of you, and it should be, butchered, and everything should be done, because this is a big deal. Forbidden is forbidden, right? And I shared these ideas when I learned about this. I was so shocked, and I shared it with people around me. I know a couple of Muslims around in my community, and I told them, do you know this is happening? And they said, well, what are you gonna do? It's up to this guy, and he's gonna pay for it and go to hell, and we're trusting him, etc., etc. But I think we should be doing our own due diligence and making sure that we are doing our level best to verify what we are getting, whether we're consuming or we're hearing, whatever. It's up to us. You can't just be a spectator. And I think this is one of the things that going forward, I want to encourage people that, we've been, day one, we've been brainwashed by the TV to just sit back and watch. But you're a part of this world. You're a part of the community. It's your responsibility to take action, not just view and watch and be entertained. To take action, trust in God, believe in Him, and do what the Quran is commanding you to do. And we can just sit back and just relax and watch TV and be entertained, or we can take action and try to get closer to God and to do the things that God has commanded us to do. So God willing, I'll make another video about that aspect. I'm going to further my thoughts on that on a different video. But I'm also looking at, I already made a vegetable garden, and I'm also constructing a chicken coop, because I want to raise meat chickens for my family. Because as you know, the time is very unpredictable now, and you want to learn these skills while you can. Be able to butcher an animal, and raise animals and plant vegetables and grow stuff, because what's coming down the line will require us to do these things, because eventually when they do stop you from going to the supermarkets and the shopping malls and participating in the society, which eventually will happen, we're progressing down that road, you want to be self-sufficient, and you need to have the skills, the tools, and the knowledge to be able to do that. So again, the point of this video is not to say, okay, this is how you should do it. It's more for those who are not aware, who are not understanding the deception and how evil people are in this world, in this system nowadays, that they will flatly lie to you and say, yes, this is allowed, this is consumed, you can consume this, and they're Muslims themselves, when they know that this meat is forbidden, or they have been deceived by the mullahs or muftis or imams who obviously are lining up their pockets and and live in this corrupt system and have compromised with this system, who are saying, yeah, no, this is allowed, stunning is allowed. Stunning is not allowed, because once you do a forceful blow to the head of an animal, the animal is dead. It doesn't make any difference whether the heart is still beating or is still breathing, blah blah blah. Even when you slaughter an animal, like I slaughtered the animal, I slit his throat, his legs were still kicking for the next couple of minutes, because the nervous system hasn't fully shut down. So but that animal is dead. So to say, okay, we're doing this, and it's a humane practice, but what it is that basically the people at the top don't want us to consume lawful food and good food. They want us to consume garbage. They want all of this to go to the big manufacturers, Tyson Foods and Cargill and all these mechanized machines, and they're feeding us this food which is not fit for human consumption. So I do encourage you to deliberate on this matter, and if you are trying to stay away from this sort of meat, then look into where you're getting it from, and verify where this guy is getting his meat from, and call up the supplier, and if you can make a visit there and go see what's going on. You can't just turn a blind eye to this, because again, this is a big issue according to Quran. Anyway, I hope everyone is doing fine, and this video is some benefit to you. God willing, until next video, peace and blessings be upon you.